Hey everybody, welcome to TMI Live, Too Much Information with Moondog, where we're going to be going over the videos that I've posted up this week, as well as getting into some trivia, some random stuff that I also got into this week. And also I'm going to ask for your input on some new projects that I'm working on. So before we get started, let me give a little plug to my episode sponsor, which is Aura. And it is an online cybersecurity network service that I use to protect me when I'm on the web, which, as you can see, I'm on the web all the time, either producing these live streams or I am working and uploading videos. But, you know, when you are online, especially when you are outside of your own home network, if you're using Wi-Fi anywhere, public Wi-Fi, you run a risk of, getting some of your information getting sniffed on a public network. Well, one of the things you can do to protect yourself is to log into a VPN, a virtual private network. Now, there are other companies out there that offer that kind of service. You've probably seen other companies plugged and sponsoring videos online like NordVPN and others. Well, the virtual private network protects you because it's sort of like you log into a separate Wi-Fi or an internet network that filters out and encrypts your keystrokes and contacts and information before it goes onto the public Wi-Fi. And that helps protect you by giving you one extra level of protection. Well, yeah, you could use that service, and there's other services you can use to filter out your spam mail to reduce the amount of spam that you get in emails. You can also get other services that you could subscribe to that will expunge your private information that's out there on the dark web and just publicly available through private companies called data brokers, which buy and sell our public information and private information like our names, our addresses, our physical mail-to addresses, our phone numbers. All that information is being bought and traded by these companies called data brokers, and there's hundreds of them out there online. And yes, you can legally get yourself removed from each of these companies, but it's a very daunting and arduous process there's hundreds of them. Well, if you sign up for Aura.com, they'll get you off of all of these data brokers in one stroke. By registering through Aura.com, they will formally request to have your information removed from these data broker companies, all of them, and they will repeatedly make requests to do so while you're on Aura because, they can get your information from, it's kind of like a shell game, but in any case, you could subscribe to all these different companies, but here's the benefit of Aura. They offer all these services bundled up together into just one membership with Aura. Plus, they give you $1 million of identity theft insurance. So should you hopefully, knock on wood, God willing, you never have a fake credit card opened up in your name or any of your information spoofed. Should you ever come to that unfortunate event? Well, Aura gives you $1 million of identity theft insurance, which you can use to cover your costs in getting all that stuff straightened out with using a lawyer. Well, that's what the lawyers aren't cheap. So if you have identity theft insurance like through Aura, which you will get, you can get that reimbursed to you. So yeah, all of these things are all bundled up into Aura, which I've used, and it's great. And if you try Aura using my link, aura.com/moondog, not only will this channel get a little bit of a commission for you trying them out, but you can try them out for free for 14 days, risk-free. So try them out. Use my link, aura.com/moondog, and let me know how it works for you. All right? Okay. So thanks to everybody for joining up early. And I can see already on the side chat, we have Pick on the side chat. We have Tim Mooney. We have Vadim. And we have TJ. Thanks to you guys for joining up. And for everybody who joined up early, well, you got your first clue in my episode giveaway. In this giveaway, we're going to be giving away 4 cool patches for some of the brands that I've covered this last week in videos. Like, this is a really awesome, just zoom in here. Hopefully you can see this here. This is a cool patch from Primary Arms. This Raging Bull morale patch. Plus, if you saw in last week's episode, last week I posted up their new US-made red dot, the HTX. Well, you can get a limited edition HTX patch that I got at SHOT Show. So I'm going to give that away today. In fact, I'm going to give away 2 of the primary arms patches today. Plus, I'm giving away a Nightcore patch in honor of one of the weapon lights that I reviewed recently from Nightcore. So you'll get a chance to win 4 lucky winners today. So get your hashtags in. And what are you going to put on the hashtag? Well, let me show you. All right, let me bring this up here. This, if you can identify this brand from this logo, and just type in hashtag and the name of this company. Hint, it's initials. It's 3 letters. Type in hashtag and the name of this company, and you'll be automatically entered to win one of these patches today. So, yeah, really good chances. Okay. And all you have to do, if you do win, we have software that will automatically look for your messages on the side chat. And if you enter in the correct name, it'll automatically enter you into the drawing. And at the end of the episode, we're going to draw for 4 winners. And if you do win, you just have to email me, moondogairsoft@gmail.com, and with your name and address, and I will be happy to mail that out to you. All right, so let's start with our new videos today, which last week I posted up a booth visit with Athlon. And if you don't know, hopefully you do know, Athlon is one of the top US optics companies out there. And they really make a huge range of scopes, of spotting scopes, binoculars, red dots, really the whole shebang. And they make some of the best ones out there. They're not super expensive. They have everything from very low. In fact, one of the first really decent scopes I ever bought was an Athlon Argos 6-24 scope, and I use that for a long time at the range for long range shooting, and it's a great solid scope. The turrets are really solid, they track, and really no slop on them, really well built, and just a really good company. And I got a chance to visit their booth, and let me just share with you one of the videos, video shorts that I put together from my booth visit.
See behind me, we have a lot of new scopes. We did an update on the Argos BTR, the Midas TAC, the Ares BTR, and the Ares ETR. There are a few new magnification ranges. The Midas TAC picks up a 5-30 instead of a 5-25, and it does have illumination. But really, the common theme amongst all these is we've done really well with our turrets. You know, the nice tactile detents. Detents. Very easy to move.
No
you
slop.
Can hear them. No, they're very good turrets. We've made them larger, quite a bit larger, to fit the consumer preferences. We've added in built-in throw levers. We have flip caps and sunshades coming with these optics now.
Oh, excellent. Well, how long? What are the size of the sunshades? They vary by model.
Yeah, about 3 to 4 inches.
Okay, that's good.
So really, you're getting a lot for your money now. As you always have with Athlon, and as you can tell, these prices have not fluctuated.
So yeah, there you go. The Athlon, I always thought that they made some of the best value in scopes. They have everything from their top end, which is Chronos, which is, those are scopes that are over $1,000. Not the multi-grand European optics, but still really sharp, clear ED glass, and their Chronos, all the way down to much more affordable, their Talos and Argos, which I believe started around about $200. So now they're actually offering a few more goodies along with their scopes, like as Matt and Dustin said at the booth, that they're offering a few more accessories like sunshades and covers. So it's really a good company overall as far as optics goes. Oh, they also make tripods. I forgot to mention that, and a few other things, which you'll see if you go check out that video that I posted this week. Also this week, I posted a review of a Nightforce NPL. Nightcore NPL 25, which is a very compact, high lumen weapon light. And this one is unusual in that it has a proprietary it has a battery pack into it. Rather than just being a straight rechargeable weapon light, it actually has a removable pack. Not a battery, I mean, not like a screw-in battery, but actually a pack, and that allows them to have a lot more control over the performance of the battery, rather than a user replaceable battery where, you know, it performs only as well as the batteries you put into it. This one has a removable battery pack, which charges really fast as well. And they are working on offering those as a user replaceable option. So you can buy a battery pack with a charger, a separate charger, and you can just hot swap them in as you need to. So that's great if you are if you need a weapon light professionally. That way you can keep one charged and in your vehicle or what have you, and hot swap them in as you need to. Plus, it has a little LED indicator on there as to how much of a charge is in the battery pack. But here's a little short I can show you. Industry standard drop tester from 1 meter or 3 feet. I'm going to drop it from 6 feet twice onto rocks and dirt. So we'll see if it still works. I took the flashlight to the range and shot 2 boxes of ammo through my Glock 17, and during those 100 rounds I noticed no flickering and the laser held 0. So I just want to post up a comment from Pick here. Pick says, cool, but proprietary battery isn't for me. Yeah, I'm generally with you there, but I would think of this more as if it is a built-in rechargeable battery with the option of replacing it. Because one of the things a lot of people complain about, or at least have a concern about, with some other rechargeable weapon lights is like, well, what happens if the battery fails? Well, usually that means you have to toss out the whole thing, or at least have to send the whole thing back to the manufacturer, and hopefully they'll honor their warranty and send you a whole new unit. Yeah, but it is kind of worse than having a rechargeable battery type of unit. But this one gives you the option of, well, if the battery that's in your rechargeable unit isn't working or recharging and holding a charge as much as you'd like, or you have any failure with it, you can just take out that unit and replace it yourself. So think of it more as a rechargeable battery with the option of being able just to replace that battery. So that's the way I would think about it. But I understand your concerns as well. So yeah, it is a valid concern to have. All right, let's see our next video. Speaking of rechargeable batteries, this one was a video I posted on my gadget channel. This is from a Phoenix flashlight, but the PDR32, and this one had a very long runtime. Now I wanted to show you the video, but I realized this one was one of the videos that has a rather famous song attached to it, so I can't play you the video in this video because of the way licensing works on YouTube. And unfortunately, I don't have a non-music video version of this video, but go check it out. It's the PD32R. Very good runtime on this Phoenix EDC light. And on my Go channel, I can share this one with you because this is one I shot when I was in New York recently for a event where I got to see my daughter perform at Carnegie Hall. But while we were there, I was lucky enough to stay at a friend's apartment near Lincoln Center, which, for those of you who don't know, that's where the Metropolitan Opera is, and the Symphony, very famous arts center for performing arts in New York City, in the upper West Side of Manhattan. And every day we got a chance to walk through the plaza, which was really nice. And while there, my son was with me. Sock One is his nickname, and he's definitely becoming a preteen, because this is his comment as we're walking through Lincoln Center. So we are in Lincoln Center here, where they have the opera and the Symphony Hall. Do you want to go see? They have a very famous fountain here. Do you want to see that?
Does it have boobs?
Yeah. So his comment. Let me replay that again, just so you could hear. Moss, we are in Lincoln Center here, where they have the opera and the symphony hall. Do you want to go see? They have a very famous fountain here. Do you want to see that?
Does it have boobs?
Yeah, definitely, definitely a boy. He wants to know if the fountain has statues with boobs. Okay. I'm glad I got that on film. Or a video. Anyway. Now, I post up my videos, and one of the things that gets people interested in videos, of course, is the thumbnail that you'll see on your stream and your suggested videos. And I like to put up interesting and very short headlines into, or when I can, into my videos. Well, I'm asking you for your help, for your thoughts and input. I'm going to be posting up this coming weekend a video review of Discovery Optics' new XED rifle scope, and this is a 6-36. I believe it's their highest power scope that they offer with ED glass. And this scope is well, I won't, no spoilers here, but it's if you've seen my reviews of Discovery Optics, I always think that they're very, very high quality imagery through the scope for a price that is not even, it's less than half of what you'd expect to pay from a lot bigger name brands. In any case, this scope is under $700, which, you know, it's not a cheap scope for most folks out there who are just, you know, casually shooting. Most folks like me, I did not want to spend, personally, I didn't want to spend more than $200-300 for a scope when I first got into shooting. Now I understand that if if I want to get even a clearer, sharper image of the bullet holes from 100 yards or more, I'm going to have to actually spend a little bit more money to be able to see that, depending on the size of the caliber, obviously. If you're shooting 22 versus 50 cal, yeah, it makes a big difference, the kind of holes you're going to get on paper. But for tiny little 22 or even 5.56, which is, for those of you who don't know, is same diameter as a 22 long rifle, well, you're going to have to pony up a bit more money for higher quality glass. Well, this is a really nice scope for under $700. Okay, my question to you is, do you have any suggestions for an alternate headline for this? Because YouTube gives me an option of posting up multiple versions of a thumbnail, and they do a little what they call A/B testing, but though they give you up to 3 testing, so it would really be ABC testing. And depending on, it'll randomly present a different thumbnail to people, and when they get suggested, added to their suggestion feed, and depending on which of the thumbnails gets the most click-throughs, YouTube will select that one after about a week or two of testing. So in any case, if you have any thoughts as to what would be a good headline for the new XED video review that I'll be posting up this Sunday, I believe is when it's scheduled to go live, I'll be happy to put that into the mix of video thumbnails for this weekend. So let me know in the side chat if you have any thoughts as to be a good headline. As I mentioned, the current headline that I'm going to be running with is Best 36X under $700. And if there's any other thoughts as to what would be a good headline to talk about the XED, please let me know in the side chat. That would be, and I will screenshot that and post it up for you. All right, so let me just get in the next clue for our big patch giveaway today. And for those of you who are just tuning in, let me just I've got a really cool patch from Primary Arms, and this one is, I'm going to give away 2 of these Bull Primary Arms patches, one to 2 different winners, and I'm also going to give away a limited edition HTX patch in honor of the HTX, but also because of the Nightcore video, NPL 25 video. I'm also giving away a Nightcore patch. So we're going to be giving away those 4 patches today, and that will be for this company. If you type in hashtag in the name of this brand, and here's your clue. This brand is one of the oldest motion picture studios, and they have produced such classics as Gone with the Wind, Ben-Hur, Singing in the Rain, Rocky, and James Bond. So if you would type in their name on the side, and just a hint, another hint here, it is their initials, 3 letters. Type in the hashtag. And just taking a step back here to the thumbnail here, we do have a suggestion here from Tim Mooney. Extreme magnification. Very good. I like that. Let me screenshot your suggestion here. And we have also a suggestion from Pick here. Discover long-range precision without breaking the bank. All right. Thanks, Pick. Okay. So put in your hashtag and the 3 letters that make up the name of this brand and into the side chat. Oh, and here's another one from Michael Dunn for the extra mile. Very good. Thanks, Michael Dunn. All right. Let's move forward here to our word of the week, or in this case, the phrase of the week, because this actually comes from the logo that we just saw. And I'll just take a step back to here. I don't know if you can read that in that little tiny sort of banner around the central lion inside of the logo. But inside that central lion is the words Ars Gratia Artis, which is Latin for a famous French phrase. So anyway, which is l'art pour l'art, which means literally art for art's sake. And it's the belief that art's value lies solely in its aesthetic qualities and not in any didactic, moral, or political purpose. Because a lot of what would be considered fine art, sculpture, paintings in the past were lessons, allegories, visual allegories for a populace that was largely illiterate, to teach them lessons about morality, like biblical imagery and because they couldn't read the Bible, they were, you could see that in stained glass as well, the lessons from the stories in the Bible. So they would be some moral allegories, or they would be images of Greek myths and stories, or they would be serving some sort of lesson of something that happened in the past, like stories of great battles, or they would be portraits of kings. And again, that all sort of ties in with great battles. So they would serve a political purpose. And they still do that today, or at least you can see imagery of from the 20th century with the cult of personality in socialist countries, where they would have images of the great leader all over the place. Well, art in the past also would serve that function, as well as just recording what people look like, or at least the idealized images of what famous people, rich people, political figures would look like. So that because that was in the days before photography, all we could have are paintings and etchings and reproductions through physical means of to show people what their leaders look like. And in many ways, that's the reason why a lot of coinage had like ancient Roman coins had the emperor's image on there, so people could know, well, what does Emperor Augustus look like, or Nero, or whoever. Those were on the coins. And now, even today, we have our quarters and nickels, pennies. Those have just like they follow the tradition of having the image of great leaders on the coins. Of course, everybody now knows what George Washington or Lincoln or Thomas Jefferson look like? Well, part of that is through the photos of the paintings or sculptures that we've had. But today we have photography, video, and everything else. So Art for Art's Sake was talking about that, how film, motion pictures at the time was a new art form, and that this company would be creating creating film not just to record events, because if you remember, film, motion pictures, one of the things that people use that for was to record, just like journalism, to record events. But it's not just that, but it is also to create art that moves for people emotionally, but just for the sake of the inherent beauty of it. I know I'm getting a little too fuzzy, perhaps, but that is the downside of too much information, right? Well, the reason I bring this up is for a more prosaic, for a more down-to-earth reason, and that is because, well, every year we have our summer blockbusters. And if you saw some of my previous episodes where I had my guests, Monica Brady and Evelyn Brady of the Golden Trailer Awards, well, their award show honors the best in motion picture trailers and previews. Well, I got contacted by them earlier this week to ask what are my thoughts on images for their invite this year, because every year they have an image that they put onto their invitations to enter into the contest. And for the past 10 years or so, we've been using images of upcoming blockbusters like Godzilla or Mad Max, and we've been using those modified with a Golden Trailer trophy as the sort of invitational image. And this year they were asking me which movies of the summer, these new summer movies that are coming out, that I think would be good to approach the studios, because we don't do it like Guerrilla, where a lot of folks online will just take an image that they see posted online and they'll just Photoshop the whatever. They actually go through the official process of contacting the marketing department of each of these studios and asking for permission, and that's the reason why we have these little mouse type in the bottom, used with permission by Sony Pictures or whoever, or Disney or Marvel or what have you. So they actually have to go. They go through the process of talking to the studios and getting their permission, and every year they've allowed us to use their images, so that's great. But this year they were asking me which movies, and I did go look through which of the new movies this year. And to be honest, the reason why I had to go look through them is because I really didn't know. Nothing really stood out in my mind just when they asked me at the top of my head, what movie's coming out, except for one, and that's the one that I used as a thumbnail for this week's. And that was Snow White, only because I knew it was coming out, but yeah, not for good reasons that I knew it was coming out. So I thought it would be good for me to go through some of the most anticipated movies of 2025 that I looked through on RottenTomatoes.com and give you my hot takes on them. And also, I'd like to find out what your thoughts, what you've heard about them, or what you're thinking about them now, or if you haven't heard about it, what do you think of these new movies that are coming out? So let's do that. Let me bring this up onto the stage here. And let's take a look at the summer and most anticipated movies of 2025, starting with Jurassic World Rebirth, which immediately I'm thinking, oh, great. They're trying to do yet another Jurassic Park movie. And the reboot I had was actually pretty good. Certainly better than some of the other Jurassic Park sequels. And I watched them, but yeah, they kind of disappointed. The one that they produced recently. Is it with a trio or two movies that came out with Chris Pratt and I forget, Ron Howard's daughter, the redhead. Let me know in the comments if you've seen any of those two Jurassic Park movies. Oh, and we got some new folks joining in. Hillbilly, thanks for joining us. And Bendress Marcusman, good day. How are you, buddy? Or I should say good morning over there in Australia. And Two Live Moo, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. So we just started talking about movies, upcoming movies, and I'd like to get your thoughts about the ones that are coming up. All right, so we talked about Jurassic Park. And this movie actually has just come out already, starting with the ones in March, like Mickey 17, which is directed by the same Academy Award winning director of The Parasite, which is a Korean film. And I think it's one of the first non-English movies to win an Oscar for Best Picture. But I gotta say, I've seen some Korean TV shows and films, and just like K-pop, the Koreans have really done a remarkable job of really creating films in Korea that look and feel like American, like top tier Hollywood films, even though they're spoken in Korean with Korean actors. The quality of the cinematography, the special effects, as well, and more importantly, the acting is very Western. Whereas when I'm watching other foreign films like Chinese cinema or Japanese cinema, I don't know if it's what it is about their acting, or maybe it has to do culturally. It just feels a little bit foreign. It feels a little bit unlike the way that they react to things is unlike how a lot of just Westerners would act. And even like when I'm watching French or a Scandinavian cinema, the acting is just kind of strange, the way that people act and talk to each other. Unlike when I'm watching an English film or a British film or an American and Canadian film or even Latin American films, I can relate to the way that they behave and talk, and the actors and the people, the characters talk to each other. Korean films are much more relatable to me in the way the way the actors act than other Asian films. So Mickey 17 looks interesting. It's a sci-fi film that's coming up, and that is a sort of a reincarnation, or a clone film, I should say, where the main character dies and is regenerated as a new body with the same, oddly enough, the same memories as his previous one, which kind of reminds me of another film. Was it Edge of Tomorrow, which was a really pretty good sci-fi film that came out a few years ago with Tom Cruise. That was about a alien invasion where the main character, Tom Cruise's character, every time he dies, he gets reincarnated, or he comes back, and it's sort of this weird time dilation thing where he comes back to this to the same moment when before he first dies, and it's because of a strange interaction with the aliens, and the reason why the aliens were able to take over the Earth so easily and quickly is that they have this power that when they die, they regenerate in the past with all the memories of what happened up until they died. So they're able to learn from the future of all of Earth's actions to try to defend against the aliens and counteract all of our future actions. And anyway, I won't spoil that too much. But anyway, The Edge of Tomorrow was based on this Japanese manga called All You Need Is Kill. And this movie, Mickey 17, that's coming out, is kind of reminds me of that. And I may be interested in seeing that, but certainly it's not my top film of what I think would be interesting to go see them. But maybe it will be. Here's one I hadn't heard much about. It's directed by Steven Soderbergh, who's a really good director. Black Bag, which is a spy thriller that stars Kate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender as a couple who are, both of them are espionage agents, and one of them is being suspected of being a double agent and spying on the country, and there's sort of like this intriguing thriller, like who's the traitor, who isn't the traitor. We don't know. Not my number one sort of genre of film, but it could be interesting. Let me know what you think. If you think this is something you'd be into. And here's a comment from Michael Dunn here. I've noticed there are a lot of foreign films on Netflix recently. Yeah, Netflix has got this interesting business model because they started off basically, well, for those of us who are old enough to remember when they were physically, they used to physically mail out DVDs, and then they only, as technology and high-speed internet became available, they started streaming the movies. But it was great up until the studios that gave them the license to stream and send out their content, their old movies, realized, hey, we should be getting a bigger slice of this pie. And now we have all like Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, and all these other studios saying, oh, no, we're not going to give you our movies. We're not going to license your movies. We want people to sign up for our service. And so they realized early on that if they were not going to get the back catalog of movies from these studios, they're going to have to create their own and develop a creative pipeline. So part of it is, I'm sure that that Netflix has signed up, just like they signed up a bunch of up and coming Hollywood folks to create movies and TV shows. It seems like as you've noticed, they've reached out to other foreign production companies. And Tim Mooney says the movie Snowpiercer was a Korean film. Yes. But had several big Western actors. Yes, that's true. So, Korean cinema has really boomed. And I've been watching a lot of Asian films and anime recently as well. The quality overall has just gone up. And part of it is that the technology has allowed them to also create a lot of special effects and do things and shoot things in a much more cheaply than they used to. All right. What else is coming up? Let's see here. On the now, I'm just wondering, on your side, I was hoping that we would get to see. Let me see if I remove this. Okay. All right. I was wondering why when I was showing the page, it wasn't updating what I was looking at, but it appears to have updated. Okay, there we go. Now here's a new movie, Electric State, which I had not heard of and don't know much about, but it stars Millie Bobby Brown. For those of you who don't know her, she was one of the standout stars of the Stranger Things series. So she's a young actor who plays 11 in Stranger Things. Now, she was like the new hot actress, teenage actress. Of course, she's in her 20s now. And that's one of the big complaints about Stranger Things. They're supposed to be teenagers, and all the actors are in their mid-20s or late 20s now. So it's kind of unrealistic to look at them, that they were so much older than their characters now. But anyway, Millie Bobby Brown was also to try to get her, put her in a couple of other films. She was recently featured in the Godzilla films and whatnot. To be perfectly honest, I found her acting to be a little, disappointing or underwhelming. So I'm not holding high hopes for Electric State. Let me know in the comments if you like her as far as an actor. Now, interestingly enough, here's another streaming actor who's in a movie, Novocaine, which I haven't heard about, but I believe it's also based on a manga. It stars Jack Quaid, who's the son of, I believe is he the son of Dennis Quaid or one of the Quaid brothers? But he's in this really great series. I believe it's Netflix, or is it Amazon? The Boys, which is this series that's a sort of a send up on superheroes, like a dark twist on superheroes. It's actually based on an independent comic. It's about what would happen if there was a very twisted version of the Justice League, where all of the superheroes are actually sponsored by big corporations and you find out that one of them was staffed by former Nazi scientists, and that's how. And they were the ones responsible for getting these chemicals out there that have been turning random people into giving them superpowers. About what would happen if, for example, if Superman was actually, in the story in the series, The Boys, the corporation is portraying these people as heroes, but they're actually all pretty messed up, deviant. What would happen if you had godlike powers? Morally, what would happen to you? And if you had the morals of a lot of degenerate movie stars and celebrities, how bad would that be if you also had superpowers that could kill people? So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. The Boys is a great series. Jack Quaid is one of the main characters in that series. He plays the normal human, who gets caught up in this when his girlfriend is killed accidentally by a superhero, and he wants to get back at them. Anyway, I won't spoil the Boys too much for you, but it's a great series. So Michael Dunn said, and this is in regards to Millie Bobby Brown, she was great in Damsel. Pick says, yeah, she looks totally different. Yeah, because she has hair. She has hair now, unlike. Well, that's also true. As people age, their face gets different. So yeah, she looks quite a bit different than she did when she was younger. Enola Holmes was great. That again also is Millie Bobby Brown movie. Was it a movie or was it a series? Tim Mooney says Karate Kid Legends. Yes, that is also one of the films that's coming up. But moving on to, here's the thing, Snow White. That's what I used for the thumbnail. That is a movie that I would have, well, let me just be honest. I'm not into any live action remake for the most part, of any classic animated film. I mean, I don't see the point. To try to make a live action film that is like a shot for shot or very similar remake of the animated film. Why are you doing that? There's really no point. If you get them, I much prefer the other two live action movies that were based on the same story as the original Snow White. I think one was called Mirror Mirror. Not a great film, but still a better film than doing a remake of the original Snow White. But anyway, so yeah, I had very little interest going in on it, and even less when I started seeing some of the leaks about this movie coming out, like the fact that they weren't going to use dwarves as the seven dwarves. Instead, they were going to change them up and make them this diverse band of rebels, and apparently they've CGI dwarves, and their excuse is that the reason they were using CGI dwarves is they didn't want to cast real dwarves, real people, to be the seven dwarves, is because they didn't want to reinforce stereotypes. That's a little crazy. And apparently the reason why they put the CGI dwarves in there is, at least the rumor that I heard, was when they leaked the photos of the band of rebels, of this group of rebels, the backlash, the comments, the negative comments on those stills was so much that the people at Disney thought, oh, okay, I guess we better actually put dwarves in there, but we can't use real dwarves because that would reinforce stereotypes. So let's CGI this thing. Sort of similar to what happened with Sonic and the backlash of the original, or the first round of how they created what the character design of Sonic, where he looked really strange, and then they had to spend, I don't know, a couple of $100 million to redo all of the CGI so that to make Sonic look more like Sonic the in the animated series, or at least in the cover art for the game. So anyway, this is all the things I've heard about this. I haven't seen it, but again, like I said, I have little interest. I think the only one of the remakes, I didn't even go see The Lion King. I heard good things about it. There was, it was a pretty good movie, but I had really no interest in seeing live action Lion King. I didn't see Aladdin. I think the only one I saw was Beauty and the Beast, and that was only because it was one of the few films on a flight back from New York that I was happened to be on there. And I caught it and just was interested in seeing the musical scenes. That's all. Yeah. So yeah, not too interested in Snow White. This is a film, Ash, which I'd not heard about, that looks kind of alien-esque, and it's being directed. It's Faro's. It apparently is being directed by Neil Blomkamp, which I think he's an amazing visual director. He directed District 9, which I thought was a great film. And he was originally slated to direct the Halo film, which they've never did. And they tried to do the Halo series, which I heard bombed in any case. But apparently this film is reminiscent of oh wait, sorry. I am maybe rereading that comment too much. This that follows Eliza Gonzalez character after she discovers the entire space crew is murdered. The film is reminiscent of Alien, with director Neil Blomkamp having previously worked on... Okay, so it is. Neil Blomkamp is the director of this. And I'm not familiar with the characters, but I find it interesting that the title of the film is Ash, which the reason I thought of Alien immediately is because in the original movie, that was the name of the robot or the cyborg character that you find out as a cyborg later in the film, that his last name was Ash. So, but this looks, if it's Neil Blomkamp, if you like sci-fi, this will look great. Apparently there's a new gangster film coming out called Alto Nights, starring Robert De Niro and Barry Levinson. If you like gangster films, maybe good. Don't know. I haven't seen Bobby De Niro anything that I really wanted to see in a while. So, and again, this is not my genre. But hey, if you're into it, that's cool. Death of a Unicorn is coming up, and other things. I've seen trailers of that. It apparently is a horror comedy about the idea that there are real unicorns, and apparently the main characters, Paul Rudd and Jenny Ortega, accidentally run over a baby unicorn, and then I guess comedy ensues. I don't know, but apparently it's an action comedy horror. So maybe good. I don't know. There's The Woman in the Yard, which is a horror film. Looks like something that A23 or 8 would do. Haven't heard much about that. And
we've got Passion. We got.
I don't want to play. Sorry, I don't want to play any of the trailers because of copyright issues. But here's another. Let me forward on to one of the movies I've seen trailers of, and I have zero interest in, and that is the Minecraft movie. Now, my son, who is an avid Minecraft player, he thinks this movie looks like it's going to suck. And I've seen the trailer and I've seen posters for this, and my biggest complaint is that just the character design of the people or the things, like the wolves, the sheep, everything in this movie looks just, Minecraft, as you know, is very blocky and squarish, but they're trying to do like they did with the Pokemon movie. What if those things were in real life? And I think that's just wrong, because part of the charm to me about Minecraft was it was so low res. It was 8-bit. Everything looked 8-bit. And if you're trying to just make it look as if, what would happen if you turn those into high res objects but still kept the square? It just looks wrong to me to have a hairy square sheep. I don't know. Maybe it just loses a lot in the visual translation to me. Oh, interesting. This video is age restricted and is only available on YouTube. Hell of a Summer. Okay. Warfare, starring Ray Mendoza and Alex Garland. Interesting. I haven't heard about that. And did I miss one? Oh, yes. This one is Pedro Pascal. He's like in everything now. He's in the new Fantastic Four movie that's coming out as Mr. Fantastic, which I'm not entirely sure if that is a good cast. He's a good actor, but he's not somebody that I would immediately think, oh, he's Mr. Fantastic. Just because the Mr. Fantastic I have in my mind is much more of this aloof, arrogant professor type, which he doesn't strike me as Mr. Fantastic, but hey, maybe I'm wrong about that. Yeah, to Tim Mooney's point here, how many Pedro Pascal movies are there this summer? I know. Is it so? It's like what, 3 movies, and that's not including. Are they releasing the newest The Last of Us, which he's also in? And yes, there is a How You Train Your Dragon movie coming out. Yet another live action remake of an animated film, which in and of itself was kind of realistic in terms of being 3D CGI animated. I mean, granted, the more caricature than sort of real as far as CGI is concerned, but still real enough to me. It just seems like what's the point of doing a live action? It's just all for the money, it seems. I don't know. Yes, and as you pointed out, let me scroll forward because I saw that Lilo and Stitch. There we go. This one came out of nowhere to me because I'd not heard about that they were doing a live action Lilo and Stitch. I knew that they were working on Moana as a live action, which kind of makes sense because The Rock as Maui, that it's not too far off. But again, as a unnecessary as far as I'm concerned. This one, Lilo and Stitch, unnecessary again. And I don't know for the rest of you, I thought Lilo and Stitch was actually an underappreciated movie. I thought it was an hilarious film, and I wish they would use more. They would have kept the Lilo and Stitch ride over at Disney, or at least the Stitch Escape from Stitch. I forget the name of that, but it was actually a redo of the Alien inspired ride over at Disneyland. Yeah, there's another movie that I don't think was necessary. And of course, we're getting supposedly yet another final Mission Impossible movie. So this is going to be Final Reckoning, which apparently was supposed to be part 2 of Dead Reckoning, or at least this is supposed to be a second part, or at least really closely tied with the last film, which was Dead Reckoning. And I don't know. Maybe I'll go see it when they release it in streaming, but I have very little interest. And who posted this up earlier? It might have been Tim. They're doing another Karate Kid movie, and this time with Ralph Macchio in it. So, is that enough to make me want to go see it? Probably not. And I still have big issues. Like, why are you calling it Karate Kid when it's set in China? I know I'm sure they justify it in the last movie. But yeah, it's just all kinds of wrong and culturally wrong to me too. Yeah, call it Karate Kid and it's Gung Fu. One that is interesting to me only because I like the previous John Wick movies is this ballerina spin-off. Could be interesting, and if it's the same production team, I'm sure the action sequences are going to be amazing. And well, we'll see. I've so far liked a lot of all the films that Ana de Armas has been in. She can act, unlike I hate to say it, going back to Snow White. One of the things that I was disappointed in the images and the trailers I've seen and shorts that they've released of Snow White is Gal Gadot. She is not. I don't think she was that great of an actor to begin with, and she's certainly not showing off her chops in Snow White or her singing ability or lack thereof. Not a good look as far as I'm concerned. Oh, and as we pointed out earlier, How to Train Your Dragon is coming up. And here's one that I didn't heard was coming up was Elio is a new Pixar film. Hadn't heard much about that. This one this new one that's coming out 28 years later is a sequel to 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later. So this one could be good, but I'm also, again, kind of over zombies and post-apocalyptic zombie films. So it'll be interesting whether or not that does well or not in the theaters. And now I'm starting to feel like I'm done. I'm exceeded my amount of movies coming out. I didn't realize there were this many movies coming out this summer, to be honest, including F1, which is coming up. But yeah, now if I had not a great interest in seeing a lot of films, I'm somehow I feel like I'm underwhelmed with the selection of films coming out this summer and this spring. Let me know in the side chat if you think any of these films are worthwhile, are definite must see. So far, I have not seen anything that I was going to say, like, I definitely need to see this in a movie theater. Sadly. But maybe that's an opinion of one, but let me know in the side chat if you think that's the case. But let me move forward from this because I've already gotten my fill. I'm already exceeded my amount of disappointing movie announcements. And let's get into Thunderbolts. Yes, okay. So Tim Mooney reminded me, yes, there's also a new Marvel. There's a lot of Marvel movies coming out, it seems like. We got Thunderbolts, we got Fantastic Four. And there's Superman that's coming out, which I didn't even show in here in the upcoming movies. But that's a DC property, obviously. But James Gunn is directing that. Could be good. To be honest, I was never that big of a fan of Superman movies. I've liked the other superhero movies, some of them, many of the Marvel ones, but Superman has always been something about it. I mean, I like the classic movies from the 80s, the original Superman. For a nostalgic point of view, I didn't think it was a great movie. I actually thought Superman 2 was better than Superman 1, because with the introduction of General Zod, though, again, some of the things that they did was so uncanon in terms of Superman's powers. But I liked Superman giving up his powers and then that weird thing with the dark with Dark Superman and haunting Clark Kent and them getting into a fight. That was interesting, but Superman as a character was never that interesting to me, only because he was just too OP for me. But so we'll see if this new Superman movie, when he certainly looks almost like a Superboy in terms of he still looks like he's new to his powers, or he's a much more vulnerable. But yeah, that's coming out. All right, so let's get into the contest here, because a lot of you have already posted up your entries into this contest, but here's your final clue. So just put it into the side chat with a hashtag. This brand is known by its initials, as I mentioned earlier. It was originally known as Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Pictures, so that should be a big clue there, folks. If you don't know what this brand is, but type in hashtag and the initials. This brand, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Pictures, has passed through a lot of hands in terms of ownership, and it's currently owned by Amazon, which I did not know. So there you go. Type in your hashtag, the name of this company, and let me see how many folks we have. Hey, we have 4 entries in the giveaway, so you have 100% chance of winning right now. So everybody who's posted up the name of this company, so everybody who's posted up currently will get a patch. So we'll pull the winner in a second. but I also wanted to remind everybody that this is the final week of my 240 watt travel charger giveaway. This is a great little, here, I have the box here. This is a great travel charger. It has 8 ports. It has 7 USB-C ports and a USB-A port. It plugs into a wall, and one of the ports can output as much as 100 watts, and that'll power just about anything. It'll certainly recharge even the top end laptops out there. And then you have 8 other ports. This has been my go-to travel charger in my backpack, whether I'm just going around town and working at a Starbucks or whatever, or I got to test this firsthand on my last trip to SHOT Show. Great travel charger. I'm giving this away at my website, and I will post up a link right now. I'll post up the link to that giveaway. All you have to do is subscribe to my travel channel, Moondog Go, and just be sure that you need to hit the like and subscribe button on the chat you're seeing now. But make sure that for this particular contest, you need to be subscribed to Moondog Go, which is my travel channel. I'll just posted up a link to that, and you'll get a chance to win that travel charger. And I'll be pulling the winner of that at next week's live stream. And if you want to see any of the links to any things that we've discussed today, you'll find them on my notes section of my website, and I've just posted a link to that. So let's do this drawing, and if you do win, just email me at moondogairsoft@gmail.com with your name and your ship to address for your patches, and also in the subject line of the email, type in the hashtag and the brand that you did on the side chat, just to let me know which the contest that you won. So let's bring up the switch over here. Stop the share screen, and let me present the giveaway tool here. All right, we're going to draw the first winner, and that's going to get, the first winner is going to get the Nightcore patch. And that's going to be Two Live Moo. So, and also just remind me in the email which of the patches that you got. I'll try to remember in my notes at the end of this who got what. All right, let's draw again. This time we're going to draw for one of the primary arms bull patches. Michael Dunn, congratulations. You get a bull patch and the second bull patch and the HTX patch. So whoever gets the next one's going to get the bull patch, and whoever's left is going to get the HTX patch. So let's draw for the bull patch. And it's either going to go to Vadim or Pick. So Vadim, you get the bull patch, and oh, I forgot who's left. I think Pick was the other. Yes, it was Pick. So Pick, you get the HTX patch. Please let me know in the email which one you won, just as a reminder. But I'm going to be making notes on this, screenshots. Who is whom? So Vadim gets the bull. Two Live Moo gets the bull, which is kind of ironic. Oh no, sorry, that's not right. Two Live Moo got the Nightcore one, if I'm remembering now. Nightcore. That actually would have been much more poetic for for 2 Live Moon to get the bull. But in any case. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining up. Don't forget to enter into the giveaway next week for the travel charger. And I want to thank everybody for joining me on the live stream today. And I hope that you found a movie that you want to go see, or maybe I just saved you $15 from seeing a movie that actually might suck. So who knows? But let me know if any of those movies you think in future live streams is worth seeing. But I want to thank everybody for joining me today, and hope to join me next week. I'm going to have a special guest for next week's episode. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and make use of that 14-day free trial through aura.com. Anyway, thanks again for everybody for tuning in. Good luck, and God bless. You be safe out there. Moondog out. Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.